Encompassing Technology with Student-Centered Learning by Beatrice Moya, Isabel Espinoza, Taylor Baker, and Quentin Bellard. Marcia Powell, the author of 5 Ways to Make Your Classroom Student-Centered, states that there are 5 questions a teacher should ask themselves when trying to transition over to a student-centered classroom or learning environment. The first question: how does classroom environment promote interaction among learners, and how do you operate in that environment? What kind of assessments do you use? How do you respond to a lack of buy-in? And which is more important to you, compliance or knowledge? And if the learners were required to come to your class, would they? These are the 5 questions that teachers should ask themselves when transitioning over to a student-centered learning environment. However, there are multiple ways to approach each of these questions and implement them into your classroom.
Assessments. Assessments have always been an integral part of the classroom when it comes to student learning. And while it's been effective, the modern era of the 21st century technology has become a huge influence in the curriculum of some educational institutions. It enables the students to play an important role in the learning process as well as how to figure out how to reach the outcomes by themselves. Technology can equip students to independently organize their learning process. So instead of being passive recipients of information, students using technology become active users. It's important to note that using technology not only promotes using information that's up to date, but it also promotes a sense of responsibility. To begin this process and assign a project to your class, you have to follow 3 phases: posing a research question, the knowledge quest, and finally, sharing knowledge. For example, students can be given an assignment that they are passionate about in that field of study and work on it once a week for the duration of the semester. Then, using technology resources, they will present their findings in the form of a multimedia presentation. While implementing technology in student-centered learning can provide many opportunities for the students to be in charge of their own domain, such as the project, it's important to point out that evaluation is equally as important. This has proven to be a very positive tool for Pittsfield Middle High School, who has implemented a student-led parent-teacher conference. It's important to remember that evaluation promotes learning and is a need in the process of learning.
Lack of buy-in. How do you respond to lack of buy-in? No matter how well-intentioned we may be about student engagement, we sometimes miss the mark. Students sometimes don't care for assignments, but when we use technology correctly, they love it. The teacher strength needed to avoid lack of buy-in is honoring student passion and interest. Learning must matter to the learner. To activate this strength, it takes flexibility, resourcefulness, sensitivity to student needs, and a deep understanding of content. There is a journal named the Student-Centered Classroom of the 21st Century. This journal, by Thiel, May, and Post, 2014, describes a study that explains various types of technology integrated into a traditional classroom curriculum. Technologies described and implemented into the classroom include Moodle, Raptivity, Camtasia Studio, Jing, and Triptycho. This journal attempts to demonstrate the importance of the implementation of technology that can enhance learning by making the classroom more active and student-centered. Another journal that talks about this is called the Integrating Learner-Centered Theory and Technology to Create an Engaging Pedagogy for K through 12 Students and Teachers. This is another journal article that supports student-centered learning by Kaler and Sullivan, 2011, and it's about a study that investigated what happens to teaching and learning when K through 12 teachers use a learner-centered theory as a guide for integrating content, pedagogy, and technology into their classrooms. Data sources include narratives, transcripts of interviews, and teacher-developed technology projects and presentations. As a result, it was found that teachers lacked experience in applying technology to support and enhance the teaching and learning process. Teachers tended to use technology to transmit information instead of supporting higher-level learning. And the last journal is called Personalized Integrated Educational System. Regeluth, Aslan, Shen, Duda, He, Lee, and Watson, 2015, in their journal explained PIES, which is Personalized Integrated Educational System, which is a set of design specifications for a technology system to support the learner-centered paradigm of education. There are four major functions, which are record-keeping, planning, instruction, and assessment for student learning. In this journal, each major function is explained, as well as the three secondary functions and three architectural design features. This system was designed to have a positive effect on increasing the paradigm change.
And now we come to our fourth point, compliance or knowledge. It's always a question when teachers look at an assessment, are the students gaining their own knowledge, or are they just saying, I understand because I asked? At this point, reading the book Personalized Learning Playbook, Anthony Kim introduces 3 ways technology can amplify the reach of the teacher through feedback, collaboration, and creation. So if a teacher uses technology to provide a better feedback, maybe a Google Classroom, or if a teacher uses a Google Docs to amplify the collaboration on a group project, or even if the teacher provides some sort of tech tool that the student can create and show or illustrate their knowledge of the content, this is personalized learning, and it provides ownership to the student on the content and understanding that they have learned. And now we come to our fifth point. Would students come to your class if they did not have to? 80% of learning occurs outside the classroom, so to get students to come into the classroom voluntarily, they have to be motivated by an outside source. After reading the photography teacher's handbook, Practical Methods for Engaging Students Through Flipped Classrooms, he states that flipped classrooms largely depart from teacher-centered models in favor of more collaborative, active learning-centered approaches. Flipping the classroom, where the students are learning, are being introduced to the content where in their own environment that they choose, and they come back to the classroom ready, prepared for activities or discussions or even a quiz. This enables teachers to use that precious class time for in-depth activities where the students can apply the content to the real world, apply the content to their personal lives, or use that content and affect another person's life.